10 hand, my 10 feet, my 10 foot. Foot, feet, finger.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that.
So badly. And we couldn't get it done. Your poor foot just need a little Botox.
Yeah, Botox. What about the different challenges the younger or older people have aphasia?
Yeah, you're right. There's a difference, and I don't think that difference is really spoken about. I think, Kitty, when I worked with you and when I work with people who are younger who have aphasia, I find that finding any way to connect with you, and with you it was music, right? Mm-hmm. Like we would jam out to Britney Spears and Justin Bieber and you name it, Spice Girls.
80s, 90s.
Yeah, 80s, 90s, and today, you know, the whole jam. But it really, because we were very similar in age too. So yeah, I felt like you and I were able to connect, and I remember telling you, yeah, this sucks. This sucks. And I don't think anyone had told you that. You know, everyone's like, oh no, it's going to be great. It's going to be fine. And I think validating your feelings and working, you know, on what your goals were and trying to find a way to connect with you was amazing, which works with everyone with aphasia. But I think when someone's younger, you don't necessarily expect yourself to go through something like that at that age. So sometimes it's a different type of emotional, you know, wear down and trauma. So I tried, and I think we did pretty well of bonding. But, you know, letting us wallow, you know? Yeah. But then we jammed out. So.
Yeah, jammed out.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree with what Sarah says. Like, it's just, you got to find like how to connect with the older individuals. Like with you, Kitty, the Britney Spears hit it like a nail on the head. I totally remember that. And also just talking to you about like painting, because you really liked doing all of that. I think that with the similar age group that we are, that it was easier to find those like points where you could connect and bond and kind of get into your brain a little bit when you couldn't find the words, right? Whereas with older generations, it is a little bit more difficult, and you kind of have to play a little bit more of a guessing game and try to delve a little deeper for that connection.
Mm-hmm. If younger aphasia coming to you, what do you talk about? Talk about the aphasia. You know, what about connect to between you and aphasia?
Yeah, that's a great question, Kitty. I think for me, I try to encourage my patients to not stop trying. And even if that means like take a break from what you're trying to say, think about it a little more, and let's try it again after we stand up one more time. Go ahead and try it again. I know this is super frustrating that I don't know what I can't understand what you're trying to say, but soon I will figure out the Kitty aphasia language. Yeah. And the two of us are going to figure it out.
Cantonese, Mandarin, and English.
Yes. So Kitty was like bad at when I first met Kitty, and she wasn't talking at all. And I think the first thing you said was meow, because we were doing like a matching game and there was a cat and you said meow, and I almost fainted. I was like, oh my God. But you know, it's the aphasia is hard. It's really, really tough. And so I try to encourage my patients, especially when you're younger. Yeah. And like I said, I validate this is frustrating. This is hard, but don't stop trying. Yeah. Try a different way. And maybe I can help you piece it together and work on different words that will trigger that thought later on the next time you're trying to say that phrase, that sentence, that need, that want.
Tell me more about the exoskeleton.
Do you guys have one, Brittanie?
We do not have one. So that's all you.
Oh, wow.
I'm fascinated.
Do you still have videos of when you did it? Did you take
No.
videos?
No.
I can't remember either. But I would say probably a month into you being at National Rehab Hospital, we got into the exoskeleton, which helped you kind of relearn and practice walking in a quote unquote normal pattern, and that way it could get you those stepping patterns. And I remember you loved it.
I loved it.
Kitty wanted to do it every day. But I think that was really helpful because we could see when we would practice it in the robot, in the exoskeleton, which is kind of just a device that, like Iron Man, attached onto Kitty, kind of went around her, and there's a machine that's attached to it, and it helps move her legs and walk. It took a lot of sweat from, I think, like 2 or 3 of us, even though Kitty, you're like super tiny. You would get really distracted, and then we would tumble. So we had to make sure that we were upright and, focused. But yeah, it was really neat. And we use it a lot of times, I think. Like, we talked about a bonding with our patients and especially our young patients, because I think it's so cool. It is really cool. Don't get me wrong. But like, you were like, what is this?
Yeah.
And it made you feel. Yeah. You felt like a robot, but also like you were able to walk, which felt like the old Kitty again, which I think was so rewarding for you mentally. So I checked that off as a win. Not only does it physically help you get back to walking, but emotionally and mentally, it's so helpful because you can see yourself doing it. And then we could see it translate once we did walking outside of the exoskeleton. Yeah, but our hospital has one, and the outpatient clinic that's attached to the hospital, also, they use the same one. But we do use it with our patients who have gone through similar experiences as you.
Final question. What is your superpower?
Okay, Kitty, I thought about this all day. All day. Just so you know. Thought about it all day. I asked people, hey, what do you think my superpower is? And collectively, I think I realized I pride myself in my ability to look like a fool. And that breaks the ice between me and my patients and with you. And I really love that part of myself where I don't mind laughing. I don't mind doing something a little funky and getting that like sense of, hey, we're both human. We can both do this.
Yeah.
I'm just like you, and we'll figure it out together. That's kind of my PT superpower. That's what I think is so special, and what I love so much about what I do is the personal connection I'm able to make with all of my patients as best I can, to be able to relate to each other. And I remember we would gossip. I would tell you all about the gossip in my life, and you would just look at me like, whoa, what a crazy girl. And I was just like, yeah, this is real life. Like, life is still happening, and I'll keep you posted. Don't you worry. I'll keep you in the know. But yeah, like, I think my ability to bond with my patients is my PT superpower.
I
hope you kept her up to date on all her Bachelor Nation stuff while she was in the hospital.
Oh, my bachelorette.
Love it.
As soon as you said gossip, I was like, I wonder if Kitty's watching Bachelor in Paradise.
My bachelorette and bachelor, my favorite type.
That's some juicy gossip, girl.
Yeah. Like a juicy.
This is also something that I've just totally thought about all day and been like, I just really don't know. And I too asked some of my colleagues, and something I do pride myself in, which I never thought I would, is my level of patience. And I've always said that I'm a very impatient person, but when it comes to my people patients, I like a light switch flips and I will just be patient. And I'm necessary, like in the outpatient realm, it's like everything's like about billing, right? And everything's about like having to make this profit, I guess. But I kind of still shove that down the drain and don't worry about the fact that like, okay, we have an hour, we need to make sure that we do all this work in a full hour. I still like really appreciate that connecting. And if we sit there and chat for 20 minutes because that's what you need in that moment, then that's what we're going to do. So also on that, like just connecting with my patients, I really do feel like I connect with them very well and have empathy. And I take all of my patients home in a sense of like in my heart and in my soul. I just like, well, you know, I love my job and I truly want to connect with people to help them, because I think the therapeutic outcomes from actually connecting with your patients make a huge difference.
Thank you. We are superpower. We are superhero.
Wait, Kitty, what is your superpower?
Yeah,
my superpower is my strong.
Kitty, when I think of you, the word that comes to mind is resilient. Like you don't give up. You're the hardest working person I know.
Yeah. I will definitely piggyback on that.
Thank you.